who can get in front of the client, ask them what their problems are, and then try and solve them using AI or not. Instant rebranding, legacy vendors are now suddenly AI providers. Again, can't name names, but what used to be a cloud services company or a SaaS company is now an AI company. And then experts, experts that are speaking at these conferences, these were the experts that were speaking at crypto conferences. They were at blockchain conferences. They're now AI experts. So take it with a grain of salt when you go to conferences and you're speaking to or listening to a panel of experts that they're experts in AI right now, because that is the flavor of the month. I'm not saying everybody's like that, just things to watch out for. Okay, this is you're tuning into the good, bad, and the ugly of the state of affairs in GovTech AI. So the second thing I want to talk about is the custom software trap. And those of you that are CIOs that have been in charge of enterprise stacks for cities, counties, housing authorities, utilities, you know that custom software is the death knell. When you're buying an off-the-shelf, commercially off-the-shelf available software product, which is software as a service, it's in the cloud, you expect it to work. The trade-off is that you don't get to customize it exactly the way you want it. You can configure things, you can configure workflows. And so we moved away from custom software. Think about it. 20 years ago, you had an army of software engineers in your basement configuring and building your ERP system that then became legacy tech debt, technology debt, right? 20 years on, you brought in people like us to help you modernize and get away from super extreme custom software that didn't play with anything else, that only one or two people knew how to operate. And it was a huge problem, because how do you go from that to something in the cloud, something software as a service, and take advantage of these modern technologies? It was a very heavy lift, and a big part of the complexity was custom software that, again, was not documented well. Only one or two people who probably had retired by now knew how to run it, and you were held hostage by this super custom product. Then we went into the cloud era, the SaaS era, and you traded that off with software as a service, where you told the vendor, I'm going to hold you responsible for advancements, keeping the software up to date, making sure it's backed up, that it's redundant, that is cyber secure. And on the ground, we are going to take care of infrastructure, cybersecurity, and our end users. Cut to 2025. What we're seeing now is custom software development, which is not a new thing, right? You, even though it was a bad word, it's always been pitched to you. You have a problem, we'll solve it for you through custom software. And now all of a sudden it is AI. Tell me a problem and we'll AI it for you. No, it's you're building software. Maybe you're using AI to build the software. Maybe there's a small component of the software that is going to have actual AI in it, doing the thing for you. But again, at conferences, when a vendor is saying, tell me all your problems and we can solve it with AI, I don't buy that. You're solving it with custom development. Now, that is going to make your shadow IT problem even bigger. It's going to get out of hand, because the next iteration of building custom software is your end users are going to have the ability to build custom software using tools like Replit or Lovable, or even within closed ecosystems like major ERP vendors or software providers like Workday, Oracle. They have AI built in. They're talking about letting users have the ability to configure their own, mini apps that do the thing for them. So slightly different story, but if you let your end users build their own products outside of your major ERP or enterprise system, as an IT director, as a CIO, you are going to run into the problem of how do you keep track of all of these custom products that are not only being bought, but are being created internally. So the pitch tends to be, we can build custom AI solutions for any problem your agency faces. Now, the universe of problems to be solved in local government has not changed. It hasn't. It's been the same. AI can't suddenly solve all of them at the same time, right? So when you go into an agency and say, tell me all your problems, and we can AI the heck out of it. As a CIO, as an executive director, whatever your executive title is, you should be skeptical of these claims because at the end of the day, it is a software implementation. At the end of the day, if you haven't done the non-sexy work of thinking through your vision, how you want your organization to operate, how do you want software to help you get to that point, you can't just AI it. Okay. So custom development is back with a vengeance under the guise of AI. It's not a blanket statement, but a lot of that's going on. And it's hard to discern what's what. What's true AI product, what's not, right? You slap another logo on an open AI stack and call it your own product because now you have a chatbot that doesn't look like OpenAI, but you're charging, 10 or 100x of what ChatGPT charges for the same functionality. Uh, there's several things to look out for. So what happens when you have custom software? You own it, you're responsible for it, you have to maintain it, you integrate it yourself, and then you're stuck with it. Because the promise of micro SaaS is good if done right. If you're trying to solve a very specific problem with custom software that no one else in your ecosystem can solve or is willing to, there's a case to be made there. But any problem, all problems, I'm very skeptical. At the end of the day, it's still a software project. Hands down. That's it, right? You can't skip the fundamentals. You cannot skip the pieces of the project that don't seem as exciting. Strategy setting, baseline metrics. Do you have the data in the right spots? Is your data clean? How's your data hygiene? Is it worth even bringing old data over? Are you going to train an AI, large language model, or something else on bad data and get bad results? Process optimization. How does this fit into your overall work stream? And what is it going to do to people who are in that work stream? The story is, yeah, it enhances people's ability to do strategic work, but not everybody in your work stream does strategic work. So what stories are being told to you that take away from the fact that this is still a software project? Still a software project. AI or not, AI is a small piece of the problem that is being solved, right? You're still trying to take a problem you have and apply software to it. And there's no magic bullet. It's still a software project. That brings me to change management, process optimization, change management. Another huge component. What happens to people who have been doing the same job using the same tool sets for the last 20, 30 years? When we do ERP implementations, OCM is a huge and a very important part of the implementation workstream. We take good care to make sure that the people that will be using these systems are aware, informed, that they are bought in, that they know about the project, they know about the product, and they know what's going to happen to their specific job with the new system. And we need to take the same amount of care with AI projects, if not more, right? It's nothing different. There is no silver bullet kind of called AI. It is a component of a modern software stack. Got a comment. Conversation around AI often comes down to value. What were some of the most compelling examples you heard of AI delivering measurable ROI in government operations? I mean, several, and I've got some examples coming up. Yeah, really anything that helps you with customer service and relationships with your constituents. A great start, and there's some great stories about that in the market. Anything that helps you automate mundane tasks like council or board or commission meeting minutes and making sure that all of the things from all your different systems flow into your council agendas. Simple sounding stuff, but these are products that have picked a specific lane. And yeah, that may be the starting point, but they know what problem they're solving. They're not asking the client what your problems are. So what does legitimate, I should probably call this legitimate partners or products look like? Worth your attention. Anybody that has a lot of experience in the GovTech sector, in local government, because it's not apples to apples. You could have done some really special things in the private sector and industry with AI or not, and then try and apply that same logic or methodology to the public sector. Doesn't necessarily work. The other big missing piece in the market right now is deep local government expertise. This was a comment made by one of the panelists who is a CIO at a large agency in California. He said, yeah, I get pitched all day about how AI can solve all of my problems, but not many of these people that are pitching these solutions to me actually understand the business of government. They don't understand the procurement cycles, budgeting cycles, the audit rules, accounting rules, you name it. There's thousands of things that are very unique to local government that are not unique, that are not, experienced in the private sector. So make sure that whoever you're considering buying from or talking to has that background in government. I also like vendors that have picked a specific lane. Like I said, deep expertise in CRM. They're leveraging that into customer service automation for governments using chatbots, using voice, and then they're layering in GIS and other systems that the chatbots interact with. They've picked a lane. They're not saying, "Tell me your problems, I'll solve them all." They're not trying to go into every domain at the same time. Third, treating client problems as their own. Again, in the software world, I can talk myself hoarse about horror stories on when a vendor is not a partner, when they're selling you something to meet a certain goal, financial or otherwise, and they don't care about how this ends up for you. Now, this is hard to discern in this AI race because it's too soon, too new. Not many finished projects out there, but you know a good vendor and a partner when you see one. They should be able to tell you when they cannot do a certain thing for you, when their solution is not a good fit, right? Then it's not a free-for-all. And again, I'll double down on deep government expertise, inside government, around government, sold to government. That is going to be key because this is not about how well you know the AI or an LLM or which stack you know best. Do you know the business of government? Do you know how budgeting works? Do you know how accounting works? Do you know how purchasing works? Do you know how legislative processes work? Do you know how CRM works? Meaning, what kind of services are people looking for? It's not about saving money. Yes, it is, but it's about efficiency and giving constituents the right tools to interact with your agency. Hey, Brett, nice to see you here. Morning. Thanks for your comments. In government, the first steps should be data cleanup and access. Any new shiny toys you put in a dirty toolbox provides dirty results. Second is the security of AI systems in your environment. Absolutely bang on, Brett. Thank you. And I know that you're working on data cleanups at your city, so that was really good to hear. And then Brett loves the analogy. Investment only plays off when you have clarity around ownership, accountability, and measurable outcomes. Otherwise, AI just becomes another line item without strategic value. Yeah, probably worse than any other software you bought because it's a black box in many cases, right? If you don't understand how the thing that you're using actually works in the back end and no one can explain that to you, it's even more dangerous. So security, very, very key. So real results. What did I see in San Jose that I liked? Like I said, vendors that have picked their lane, they're doing really well within a certain domain, going deep and actually producing results. Like San Jose had some really great stories. The city of they've gotten 10 to 20% efficiency gains across pilot departments, and they actually launched while I was there. The mayor of San Jose announced that he's launching a training program for everybody that lives in San Jose. It's called AI for All. Go look it up.